think there was a network disturbance from my side. Okay. Okay, sir. So, good morning to everyone. Welcome to the 166th webinar of our Saturday webinar series. I am Pragya Mishra, working as business executive at Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. As we embark on today's session, I would like to provide a brief overview on Managed CIA to our speakers and to all the participants. Managed CIA stands as a center of excellence in agribusiness incubation, situated at National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, manage. As prominent agribusiness incubator in India, our center has guided 754 entrepreneurs and nurtured over 383 startups across diverse agricultural sectors. Our center has trained startups in crucial areas such as agri-processing, post-harvest technology, supply chain management, value addition, farm mechanization, animal husbandry, fisheries, and agriculture. So providing seed-first support, Managed CIA has played a key role in assisting agripreneurs in refining their concepts and expanding their ventures. The inception of the Open to All webinar series by Managed CIA aims to extend its reach and service to a large audience of entrepreneurs across India. The Saturday webinar series is conducted every Saturday, and these webinars cover a wide array of topics featuring speakers from diverse domains. And today's session focuses on Agri-Startup Support from banks, and we are honored to have Mr. Vamsidhar Reddy as our speaker today. And I would like to give a small introduction of our speaker also. So, Mr. Vamsidhar Reddy is the regional product manager for startups South India at HDFC Bank. As the startup regional product manager, he brings a wealth of expertise in various domains, including venture capital, private equity, angel investors, incubation center networking, and alliances. And he has also experience in CSR grants. So, with this small introduction, I would like to hand over the session to our speaker today.
Guys, hi. Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction, Pragya.
Yes, sir.
Right, I'll ask you. I hope I can start now. Can I start my
Yes, sir.
session?
Yes, sir.
Great, great. Guys, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session. Right, I this is going to be, I want this to be a kind of interactive session. Any of you have any questions in between? Please feel free to unmute and ask. Right. And I want to upfront give you a little heads up. See, I'm not an expert in agri, right? I don't have the kind of skill or a deep knowledge on various agri products, right? But I can present you an overall picture, right, on how the bank has developed the startup ecosystem, right? What are all the areas we can add value addition to your business, right? Provided so any of you reach me out starting from Monday, I'm happy to connect you with the internal teams, right? We have an agri infrastructure team who is dedicated for startups, who works with many startups across India, right? So any of you has any require any customized solution, right? I've already shared my number in the chat box, right? You can reach me out anytime starting Monday, right? So I'll spend probably first 5-10 minutes to walk you through the overall ecosystem of the bank. You want to talk about our CSR grants, right? So these grants are aimed at startups, right? And now we are in the application process, right? That probably I'll spend 5 minutes at the end, and remaining 15-20 minutes we can unless okay. I'll share my screen, Pragya. I think you have to give me the rights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have given you the presenter.
Yeah. Yeah, hope you can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a second. All right. I'm sure as a bank, we definitely do not need much introduction, right? So, what now as a bank, we have crossed almost 9,000 branches now, right? After merger happened with HDFC Limited, now in terms of market cap, the bank has become one of the top five banks in the world, right? And the entire focus, 99% of the business comes from India. And out of this, out of close to 9,000 branches that we have in India, 9,000, sorry, 50% of them are located in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, right? Where most of the agri entrepreneurs are located, right? That's where even the going forward, 55% of the branches are going to be focused on rural segment, right? I'll not anyway spend much time on this, right? So how we are organized here is, right? As a vertical that I represent is called startups, right? Within the bank, the vertical itself is known as startups, right? We are now 6 years old, right? The vertical has started almost 6 years back, right? And since then, we got decent market share, right? When government of India started talking about Startup India initiatives, that is where we even realized we need to have a dedicated and focused vertical for startups. And my team is also very lean. It is also like a startup within HDFC Bank. We are now 6 years old, and we are a team of only 10 people, right, who manages across India startup ecosystem for the bank. So thanks to the very early efforts of the senior team, we got very decent share in the market now, right? We have now close to 50,000. Sorry, we're crossing almost 40,000 startups who are banking with us. And similarly, out of 100 plus unicorns that we have in India, 90% of them they bank with us, right? This only happened because we captured many of these the unicorns when very young, right? So that's what even the focus of the bank is on, right? So we want to capture as many startups as possible during the very early initial stages, and as in when you are growing, we also want to add up the additional products the bank can offer, right? So the program that we have, right, this is recently we revamped the product, right? I'll not spend much time on this, right? So the product that we have is called Startup Build Up, right? So we revamped this product only 2 months back, right? We kind of benchmarked ourselves with all the banks in India, and we kind of revamped the entire product, right? We launched the program called Startup Build Up, right? So this is the major product, the feature that you see, what we call as a liability business, right? All your basic current account needs, right? Your employee salary accounts, your payment gateway, all your forex related transactions, your commercial cards, right? Everything is covered in the liability business, right? And the second is the lending business, right? We have three different verticals in the bank. We call it as business loans vertical, right? Second is EEG, right? Emerging Enterprise Group. And then we have BBG, Business Banking Group, right? So the relation starts from business loans, right? Someone who just started their business, right? And once you have a steady revenue, then our second group EEG would take over. And once you have a certain kind of revenue crossed, the highest relationship can be happened through Business Banking Group, right? We can have kind of lending up to even 100 crores and 200 crores also, right? That is the lending vertical. And third vertical that can help you is our equity vertical of the bank, right? So we have dedicated equity team, right, who manages equity investments for the bank, right? Till last year we were focusing on strategic nature startups, right? For example, your fintechs, your skill development, right? And then any kind of strategic startup. For example, we invested in Cardeco, Small Case, Go Digit, right? They were all strategic in nature. But since last 1 year, now we started focusing on irrespective of sector agnostic, right? For example, last month we launched something called Agritech equity investment program for the bank, right? So bank is willing to support the agri-tech startups with equity up to 1 crore, right? So we have already finished this application process last month, and we are in the final stages to select five up to five startups, and each of them would receive 1 crore equity investment from the bank. So after this call, any one of you want to explore this equity investments, please reach me out, right? I can connect you with internal teams. Bank as such can also explore equity investments, right? And fourth is the CSR vertical, right? So every year since last 5 years, banks started spending some money in terms of CSR grants for startups, right? So uh, we spend almost 700 crore on CSR, but out of that, a small portion, close to 20 crore, we started routing in terms of CSR as a grants for startups, right? Every year, on average, we support 150 to 200 startups. Each of them will end up receiving average of 25 lakhs as a grant money, right? So that is the CSR vertical of the bank. And the last and final is our institutional vertical. How it can help you is tomorrow once you grow in terms of your employee size, and you want to start, let's say, a PF trust account, or let's say you want to offer ESOP account, ESOPs to your employees, you need to establish a ESOP trust account. So both your PF trust account and ESOP trust account could be taken through our institution vertical, right? So as you can see, we have organized in such a way from right from when you incorporate your business till you become start an IPO, right? For that we have investment banking vertical, right? So the IB team, we have strong team of 20 people. They can help you in raising funding also. Tomorrow you want to connect with external investors, you want to prepare your term sheet, right? Want to do some due diligence on your term sheet that you receive from investors, and then if you want to launch an IPO, the investment banking team can help you out. But now IB team is not helping startups at the very early stages, not at the seed stage, minimum series A and above, right? Those kind of startups or investment banking vertical can help you out, guys, right? So this is how we are organized, right? So we mapped all your journey, right from incorporating your business to going till IPO and beyond, right? So wherever your journey is, we can connect you with the internal teams, right? There are different verticals, right? I could be your one point of contact, right? Whatever the requirements you have, just reach me out, we can connect you with internal teams. That is in brief about the entire ecosystem of the bank, right? And now comes to I'll just highlight 4 5 quick features, right, in liability business. Then we can talk about the lending initiatives of the bank that you can utilize. Sorry. So the program, as I said, is the startup build up, right? And the relation starts right from the startup current account, right? So for startups, this facilities is only available for startups, right? You don't get any zero balance current account for any other businesses. Only startups gets this facility, and we identify the startups, right? One through DPIT registration or through business model, right? We can't offer startup current account to every business, right? Not like traders, manufacturers, or pharmaceutical companies. This is specific. The entire segment is only for startups, right? One, you need to have either DPIT registration, or we will have due diligence on your business model. And once we realize that you are a startup, for first four quarters, that means for first 1 year, we offer zero balance current account. You don't have to maintain any balance with the bank. And after 1 year, there is a requirement to maintain 50,000 as an average quarterly balance, right? That is after 1 year. And again, we are giving an option there. If any startups that don't want to maintain 50,000 as average quarterly balance, we need some kind of transactions happens in the current account. As you can see on the screen, close to 5 lakh rupees of credit transactions, digital transactions happens in the current account. In perpetuity, you can maintain zero balance current account with the bank. We don't charge you for non-maintenance of these charges, provided at least 5 lakh rupees of overall credits happens in the current account digitally in any given quarter. And this entire account we have set up, it's very dynamic in nature, right? So for example, if any businesses deals with cash, because many agri-tech startups that collect money from farmers, right, and they want to have these cash deposits and withdrawals, right, up to 12 times we offer free cash deposits and withdrawals up to 12 times of monthly balance that you maintain with us, right? And upper crore of 75 crore. Up to 75 crore, you can have cash deposits, free cash deposits, as well as cash withdrawals, right? And the third is, obviously, I'm not sure to what extent it can help out, because anyway, once you're onboarded in the net banking, all your NEFT, your RTGS, everything is free of cost. But still, if you want to have any physical transactions done, up to 150 free transactions we allow in the branch. If you want to walk into branch and submit a check, right, 150 free transactions for every 1 lakh of average balance that you maintain. So somebody ping a message that they can't see the presentation. Is it case with everybody? Can someone confirm? Do you see this? Do you see my screen here?
Sir, I am able to see the screen, sir, but I think it is stuck. Can you change, sir, whether it
Yeah,
is?
yeah, it's okay. I'm now actually moved the screen, right?
Yes, sir, it is working, sir. Yes, sir.
Guys, yeah.
It is working. Yes, sir.
I'm spending most of my time here, right? So as I said, so free cash deposits up to 12 times of your average monthly balance, and then all your transactions also, if you want to do some transactions physically in the branch, you can do it for free of cost, right? Up to 150 free transactions for every 1 lakh of average monthly balance you maintain. And similarly, we now increase this to 250 check leaves, right? What you see 25 is not the right number. In case if you want to request free check leaves also, every month you can get 250 check leaves also free of cost. And this facility is only for startups. So again, so probably what I told you so far, you might not feel relevant, but this is where actual differentiation we do, right? What we do here is product bundling, right? Since we have so many verticals of the bank, so what we have done is we kind of bundled all the product verticals into single current account, right? So I'll talk about lending a little later, but again, so other features, if you see, one one of the pain point that we realized is many banks, right, do not offer employee salary accounts unless you have a minimum of 10 employees, and they also need minimum so and so monthly transaction needs to credit in the salary account 25,000 and above for many banks. So that we realized as a pain point. So what we have done here is we waived off that. Now you can avail employee salary accounts even if you have one employee to begin with, right? And the best feature of this is every employee salary account comes with some accidental insurance, right? You don't have to pay any premium to the bank. By just having an employee salary account, some unfortunate incident happens with any of your employee, the bank can pay 25 lakhs, right, as an accidental death insurance amount. And another feature is once you have our employee salary account, which is absolutely zero balance, in turn, you can offer 6 savings accounts to your family members, which is again zero balanced, right? Your mother, father, or siblings, your wife, or your children, you can offer up to 6 savings account by using our single employee salary account as interface. That is one. And second, your payments and collections, right? Since you deal, I'm sure you want to collect all your transactions digitally, and in India, HDFC is the only bank that has our own payment gateway, right? We have an in-house technical team that operates our payment gateway, right? And we offer our own payment gateway for free of cost, right? If you approach any third party vendors, there are two three different costs are involved. it could be your one-time setup cost, it could be your annual maintenance charges, or any other charges. So here, since we operate our own payment gateway, for startups, we waived off the payment gateway charges completely. Your setup cost and your annual maintenance charges are completely waived off. And any startup which do not have a website but still want to offer digital collections, we have introduced something called Smart Hub Vyapar, which is the digital interface for all these small time businesses. You don't have to have a website to have 100% end to end digital collections, right? Once you're on board into Smart Hub, you can collect all your payments, right? It could be your digital end-to-end digital transactions through SMS based payment. You can email your customers and collect the payments. You can offer end-to-end UPI based QR scan codes, and any other 100% digital payment collections. You can get it done through Smart Hub, and which is a free of cost. And once you start using the Smart Hub Vyapar, it is developed in such a way, it will take all your monthly transactions, your balances into consideration, and by default at end of the month it gives you some kind of OD facility, right? You don't have to manually apply with 100 different documents to get a OD from the bank. All you need to do is do all your transactions through Smart Hub Vyapar, and the system itself by default gives you some kind of OD facility there itself, right? That's the digital collections and payments. And third important thing that we've introduced is group health insurance. See, in case if you want to offer some kind of health insurance to your employees, many insurance firms are not ready. Since you are a startup, unless you have minimum 25 employees, you cannot offer group health insurance to your employees. So what we have done, we have our own HDFC Ergo, which is a subsidiary of the bank. So we tied up with that. Now, as a startup, at least if you have 7 employees, you can offer group health insurance now, right? It comes with cyber insurance as well as director's liability insurance also. Tomorrow, if as a director, if you face any lawsuits from your customers or from your investors, there is a protection you can avail, right? Through our employee customized group health insurance program, right? Which is the third facility I want to highlight. And fourth is majorly is the forex, right? Now what we realized is many banks now they are not offering. See the forex rates that they offer. Someone asked for HDFC AF Agri Infra loans. Please, I'll cover that. Right, Avinash, I'll cover that in some time. Right. So I want to talk about the forex here. Right. All your in case if you're tomorrow if you're raising some FDI, or if you're receiving inward or outward remittances, right now there is no clarity, right, for bank what bank will charge you. If you compare Google rate and what bank charges you, you find huge difference in USD rates. So we have completely eliminated that, right? It's going to be very transparent and very, very flexible forex pricing that we offer on all your remittance transactions as a startup. And for FDI, all your end-to-end regulatory support, right? In case if you want to do some liaison with RBI and need some want to get some approvals, or you need some kind of FEMA guidelines or import export laws, we have a dedicated desk for startups, right? All your FDI related imports and exports through our regulatory support desk, we can able to help you out, right? This is the major liability business. And another thing probably that might interest you is commercial cards, right? So in our day-to-day conversations, what we realized is many startups, right, when they are traveling, the founders when they are traveling, or employees when they are traveling on behalf of the startup, right, most of the expenses you will end up putting from your own pocket. Srinivas, okay, I will get back to you that on that. So the commercial cards feature you can utilize, wherein we can offer commercial card, which is nothing but a credit card on corporate name, on your startup name. So all your transactions you can bill under the purchase card, and that comes with 50 days life cycle, right? 50 days cycle, 30 days plus 20 days, and using 50 days you can complete the payment. This is the FD back commercial guys, right? So the businesses that are pre-revenue, we don't go for unsecured, right? We prefer only FD back commercial cards. Minimum 3 lakhs is the FD, and nine up to 90% of that limit we can offer purchase cards. And for businesses that are revenue positive, we can explore commercial card, unsecured commercial cards facility as well, right? And this is the major thing I want to talk about, lending, right? So we realized the biggest pain point now as a startup is lending, right? A traditional lending, right? If you approach any bank, generally they need, every bank need minimum 3 years vintage, right? And you need to have 3 years consistent revenue, and they expect even to be profitable, right? Which in a traditional sense, many startups are not eligible, right? You would not have proper revenue, or many of them you would not have even the vintage of 3 years also. So this is where we introduced something called CGSS. The scheme is similar to CGTMST. With CGTMST, you can get lending up to 5 crore, right? And condition is minimum 3 years vintage under CGTMST. But now we have introduced something called CGSS, right? Under CGSS, we can have up to 10 crore collateral free lending. We don't ask for any collateral here under CGSS, right? And there are three brackets up to 3 crore, 3 crore to 5 crore, and 5 crore to 10 crore, right? And if you apply for 3 crore lending, we can fund you up to 80 crore, and remaining 20% is the contribution margin from your side. 3 crore to 5 crore, we can lend up to 7 crore, 75%, and between 5 crore to 10 crore, up to 65% is covered under lending, right? And what are the conditions here? To avail the CGSS, right? There are very, very few banks. We are probably the first bank in India, right, who introduced this scheme, right? We have already processed dozens of cases, 30, 40 cases we have already crossed across India. This is very, very recent introduction, CGSS. And what is the minimum condition to get this? One, you need to be DPIIT recognized startup, right? I'm sure most of you must already have a DPIT recognition, but even if you do not have, we can guide you that. You can just simply go to Startup India website and you can apply for DPIT recognition, right? And second is the 1 year vintage, right? So we need 1 year vintage, which is 12 months audited financials for this. Again, if you do not have 1 year vintage, the scheme, we will not be able to lend you in this particular scheme. So if you have at least 1 year audited financials up to 10 crore, we can consider you for lending. Minimum loan amount you need to opt is 10 lakhs, and maximum is 10 crore. So as you can see, mandatory documents, 1 year financial statement minimum, last your IT returns, and your 12 months bank statement, and all your financials. So Dada Sahib, you asked for, does non-profit organizations also eligible? Sorry, no. Only private limited, LLPs, and partnerships. Right? As a non-profit, we have a different vertical. Please reach me out on my mobile number. We have institution vertical. Right? We can help you in lending as a non-profit organization. Right? We do for institutions. Right? So this is CGSS. And apart from that, all the traditional schemes you must have heard, right? It could be your Mudra related schemes or any other government schemes, right? CGTMST, anyway, the bank is leader now, right? Apart from that, any other schemes, you can, all schemes are available with the bank. I wanted to highlight this CGSS because this is going to be the game changer for you. Okay, so Suyog Kulkarni is asking, is a CGSS loans for pre-revenue? No. Right? Without revenue, we cannot you cannot apply under CGSS. Minimum of a year. Right, as I said, when I asked for 1 year financials, the expectations is you need to have some kind of revenue, right? You need to have some revenue, but again, we don't ask you you need to have minimum 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 10 crore revenue. No, right? There is no restriction there, right? So, but lend minimum revenue is the minimum criteria. We cannot lend for pre-revenue startups here under the scheme. Okay, good to work. Please reach me out, right? The Construction Labs Private Limited. Please reach me out on Monday. We can have detailed discussion on this, right? So this is the scheme, right? Suyog, I pinged my number in the chat box. I'll share it again, right? Please reach me out, right? Check my earlier chart, right? So my very first chart, I mentioned my mobile number as well as email ID. I'm based out of Hyderabad only. If you want to meet also, we can directly meet in person, right? I'll pause for 10-15 seconds here. Any of you have any questions, you can unmute or you can please ping in the chat box. I'm just pausing for 5-10 seconds. If any of you have any questions, please unmute or ping in the chat box. And someone previously asked me whether we support Agri AIF. Yes, we have complete vertical agri infrastructure funding, whether it's your farm loans or whether we have even schemes under drones also, right? If any of your farmers using drone related schemes need some support, we have a agri infrastructure funds for everything, whether to set up cold storage or any kind of mechanization, right? We have end-to-end a agri infrastructure funding scheme, and we have very huge exposure also, right? We have a very experienced vertical under AIF. Please connect me on my mobile number, right? Happy to introduce you, right, basis your requirement. Right, and another thing that I want to highlight is there is a portal called Janasamarth, right? Please check, right? You can Google it and you can get search for Janasamarth, right? I'll ping in the group all the schemes also. There are many schemes mentioned in Jan Samarth, the national portal, right? So you can just log into Jan Samarth portal and you can apply for this particular any kind of lending completely digitally, right? Let me see if I can share my screen. I'll just share you my screen. See, I'm so sorry, I'm new to WebEx. Please excuse.
Yeah. Meanwhile, speaker are sharing their screen. I request to participants kindly put your questions in the chat box. And if you want to directly interact with the speakers, you can raise the hands. We will
Please
unmute.
unmute. Yes.
Yeah, we'll unmute Mission.
All right. So now I'm sharing the screen, right? You can see, right? This is the dedicated portal. Even we tied up here, right? If even if you're banking or even if you're not banking, please log in here, right? See, you can just apply everything from here. Agri loan. Someone wants to apply or guide your farmers directly from here. Agri infrastructure loan, right? Business activity loan, right? Livelihood loan, right? You can see self-help groups and rural urban poor, right? If I go for business activity loan, there are 6 schemes available, right? You can see Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, Waiver Mudra Scheme, Pradhana Mantri Mudra Yojana, Street Vendor Scheme, which is aimed for street vendors, right? Self-employment scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavengers, and Stand Up India scheme. There are 6 schemes present here. For all these schemes, you can apply, right? All you need to do is next when you go to the next screen, you can select bank as HDFC Bank, right? You can just select this, fill up the details, and next page it will ask you to select the bank. If you are already banking with us, all you need to do is enter your current account number, and the bank will pick up all your transactions in the back end. And if you do not have a any current account with the bank, you need to submit other further documentation, including your statement, your 1 year bank statement, and all, right? It's very interactive portal, guys. You don't have to chase HDFC Bank branches to get any loans here. All you need to do is Jansamarth, log in here, fill up the details, select the branch location, right? There is one more, once you select HDFC Bank, it will ask you to select the branch also. You can select your branch location, and that branch will be tagged as a home branch, right? And end-to-end transaction status, everything, even your loan status, you can track in real time. I'll go back, right? Again, please see here, under Agri Infrastructure, there are 3 loans here. Agri Clinics, Agri Business Centers, so ACABC, Agri Clinics and Agri Business Center Scheme, Agriculture Marketing Infrastructure, AMI, and Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. You can read through here. Mobilization of finance for post harvest management and agriculture consulting, loans for development of agriculture infrastructure, clinics and business centers. Right? It's very interface. Someone asked in the chat group. Let me just open the chat box. Someone said if there is any specific schemes for. Let me read. SC/ST marginalized. Please, there is special schemes and special incentives, right? When you're applying under social category, select this SC/ST option. There is specific schemes and specific concessions you can avail here. Would AIF cover online agri advisory startups? I'm not sure, Amit. That is something I have to check. Generally, the AIF is aimed at setting up the infrastructure. For advisory, I need to check internally. Please message me and or WhatsApp me on my number. I can get back to you on this. Right? So this is entirely very user friendly. Right? You can see here purpose for your loan. You want to set up a storage infrastructure, non-storage infrastructure, or agri clinics or agri business center. Amit, probably you can apply under agri business center since you have a uh, agri advisory startup. Try selecting agri business center, right? You need to enter the project cost, right? How amount of investments that you require, and simply you can check the eligibility there. Right? So please explore this website, right? There are so many other schemes that are not part of Jan Samarth. Please reach me out, right? Now, probably this is not relevant. Now we have end-to-end tied up education loan also, right? Since government mandates some kind of up to 4.5 lakhs, right, as an education loan, please, in case if you have somebody who's studying, right, this is purely collateral free, end-to-end digital process. You can just log in here and you can apply for education loan also. I'll wait for another 20 seconds here. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
I can see few hands are raised, so I'll unmute them. First, Sumit Saurabh is there. So, Sumit, I hope am I audible to you? Sumit, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have any question to the speaker? You have
हेलो
any speaker? Yes, we can hear you.
सर, अगर हम किसी भी स्टार्टअप्स को अगर स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं तो सर उसके लोन के लिए क्या-क्या रिक्वायरमेंट होता है सर बिजनेस के लिए?
So for when you start your business, it's very difficult, right? Without having some kind of product ready, right? Without having some, without we can't, if we can't see some kind of revenue happening, the banks cannot lend. Very difficult proposition, right? Just by starting and incorporate the business, you cannot get loans, right? Probably the best way to is try getting incubated somewhere, right? There are many incubation centers like Manage who can support you at this stage, right? They can provide you some kind of grants, right? Please get incubated. There are more than 200 incubation centers across India. Basis your location, you reach me out. We work with close to 170 incubation centers now. I can personally introduce you to the incubation centers, right?
Yeah.
And these incubation centers can help you with some kind of grant money, right? And they can help you develop the product.
Yeah, in addition to that, Sumit, as suggested today's speaker, Manage has to open the call for the cohort 10, where the ideation startups can raise the funding up to 5 lakhs. And the startups who are at means have the prototype ready and they are into the market and looking for the scale up, they can apply for the ACIP stage, where we can get the 25 lakh rupees as a grant. So he's correctly mentioned that initial stage startups should look for the incubations and for the grants, and then for the scale up purpose, you can go with loans because you don't have that much of traction and to make the repayments. So it's always better to go with grants initial phase. I can see Ashok Reddy has raised his hand, so I'll just quickly unmute him. We'll take this question and we'll forward with the session. Yeah, Ashok Reddy, sir, you can ask question directly to the speaker.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
Ashok, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Sir, we are a startup based out of Pondicherry. We are basically building an e-com solution where we promote a specialized agri product. So we work with farmers. So for last 2 years, we have been busy building the back-end supply chain. Basically, because we cherry pick farmers whom we work with. We have few conditions. So the last 2 years has been spent on that. So obviously we couldn't go commercially live. We are like in the verge of going commercial. Now we are all set with our warehousing, etc., etc. We are like all set to go commercial, but then we are stuck with the lack of funds now. So, is there any way that we could get some assistance?
Acha, so Ashok, you are again saying pre-revenue stage.
Pre-revenue stage, yeah. But thing is, we have a substantial work to show. The back end, which is which is the most important part in an agri business.
Definitely, Ashok, right? So as a
Yeah,
bank, right,
yeah,
since you're a pre-revenue, there needs to be some collateral, placed
yeah.
with the bank, right? If you're ready to put some
Okay,
collateral, right, we can able
okay,
to explore some kind of lending solution there. Please reach me out, sir. I have
okay.
a good team in Pondicherry, right? We have Agri
Oh,
Infra
oh,
team in Pondicherry. I'll connect you there,
okay. Okay,
right?
I'm just writing you an
I only
email,
look
sir.
after that region.
Oh, okay. Because we couldn't get your number in the chat, so I'm writing an email to you.
Sure
I'm
thing,
just dropping
please.
an email. There's one more quick question, sir. What is it? We also work with challenged women, individual women and women groups to get certain food condiments made. So in that segment, can we look at any CSR support?
Definitely. So this is where now I'll spend another 5 minutes talking about our grants. As you can see on the screen, right? So we are the only bank again in India who is doing this, right? So we are doing this since 2017, and this is the money that we directly support startups. We have huge other Parivartan program where we spend on community development. That is different, and this grant is dedicated for startups. Right now, we are almost 6 years in the process. We have very well structured grant program, and we have a dedicated person who executes this CSR grant program for the bank. Right. So in last 1 year, right, as you can see, we have supported 200. Sorry, last 6 years we supported only 250 startups, and this year alone we are going to support 150 startups. Right. So this number is going to become very big in the coming days. Now, since we have seen the impact that is happening out of this grant process, every year now we are increasing the budget. So now we are going to spend 20 crore. CSR grant process is currently in the progress. Tomorrow is the last date of application, 10th December. And for this grant process, you cannot directly apply as startup. Right, your incubation center has to apply for the grant. How the process is, right, we tied up with Startup India this year. You can just log into Startup India and you can search for the grant. And as an incubation center, right, wherever you are, if you're tied up with Manage or any other incubation center, they can apply for the grant. Right, and through that application, they need to recommend the startups for us. Let's say tomorrow, the Manage applies for the grant and they recommend 10 startups. All these 10 startups will give us the presentation. Right, you will have to walk us through your business model and the requirement for grant, how much grant that you require. So if you are a startup, right, since you are most of you are in agriculture and livelihood, this is a very big team for the bank. Right, so agriculture and livelihood, right, you can apply under this particular category. Right, and so far, this year we are going to support at least 25 incubation centers and 150 startups. Right, so what you see here, this is just a limited list here. Right, so the number of incubation centers we have supported, right, in last 3-4 years. And the notable things that you can see, more than 60% of these 45 incubators are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Right? And most of these incubation centers every year, right, the applications we receive are from new incubation centers. Right? We support 80% of the incubation centers we support every year are new incubation centers, and most of them are located in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Right, what you see here are some of the startups that we supported, right, in last few years. Now they are very well placed. Right, we supported them again for CSR. We don't need a minimum revenue. Right, if you have a good idea also pre-revenue stage, and you just need to present us your idea. Right, this is purely based on the idea. If you have revenue, well and good, but even if you do not have revenue, you can still apply for the grant. Right, what you see here are some of the notable startups. Right, this is again a limited information. So far there are more than 250 startups who have received this grant, and this year itself we're going to support at least another 150. So 350 400 startups we would have supported through CSR by end of this year. So if you have it, I'll again pause here for a few seconds. Any of you have any questions on CSR, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, again, I'm requesting to the participants that you can put your queries or the questions in the chat box. We'll take up one by one. You may raise the hands to ask the question directly to the speaker. Dada Sahib is asking about the registration, that there is a need of formal company formation has to be there, any legal entity for the applying these grants. So of course, all the incubators are requesting that only, but I don't know about the SDFC grant. If they want, they should have the legal entity.
Yes. The CSR, to get the CSR grant, you need to have a legal registration, right? It needs to be either private limited or registered partnership or LLP, right? Earlier we supported few proprietary concerns, but due to some kind of the fraudulent behavior or some kind of negative aspect associated with proprietorship concerns, we are done away with that. Right? We need either private limited, LLP, or partnership. Dada Sahibji, FPOs are not eligible under startup CSR, but we have larger Parivartan program that supports many FPOs. Right? Please connect to me. I'll connect you with the CSR vertical that can support as an FPO.
Yeah, I'll take one question from the attendees who raised his hand. Shruti Rao is there. So Shruti, I hope I'm audible to you. Hello,
Greetings from
Shruti.
Contribution Labs. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible. You can ask the
Yes.
question.
Yeah. So, Mr. Vamsi, thank you so much. Definitely, it's a very useful for us as we are pre-revenue agri-tech startup. So, just you mentioned about CSR grants. So, can this women entrepreneurs have any kind of grants available in that program? Or as you
Ma'am,
said,
we do
pre.
not actually, yeah, we do not differentiate
Hmm.
this is the gender for grants.
Oh, okay,
Right?
that's
All you
great.
need to have is a startup as well as a
Hmm.
social impact angle. The more impact that you have on society, the more
Hmm.
we're willing to support.
Okay, so how to proceed for that? And sorry to ask you again, your number is not visible in your contact, only the email ID is there. So if you can please share your number so we can reach out to you next week.
Yeah, I'm sharing my number. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Vamsi. Yeah, I'll connect with
Thank you
you.
so much, Shruti garu. Yeah, have a great day.
Yeah, we
Thank
can
you.
see the his number also in the chat box, and we are going to share the speaker's contact details and the presentations also for attending today for the registered this webinar also. The details will get. If you have any questions, you can put in the chat box. Or Vamsi sir, have you done with the presentations?
I'm done. So one last thing I want to again emphasis is this, right? Please explore this website, right? It's an end-to-end digital application process, right? All you have to do is select HDFC Bank when you're applying for the scheme. There are
Yeah.
12 central government schemes that we support here, right? So please visit this website, and when you're selecting, select HDFC Bank and the branch, right? It's end-to-end digital process.
Yes, and the link of this website also we have put in the chat box, along with the other programs which we were running under the manage. That links also we have shared. If you have missed some part of this webinar, so that YouTube link also we have put in the chat box. So, with this, we come to the end of the webinar. But before that, there are few announcements for you all, those who have joined a bit late. So, Manage has opened the applications for cohort 10, as I earlier mentioned. So, basically, under the RKVY-RAFTAAR grant, you will be able to get 5 lakh to 25 lakh rupees grant, depends on at what stage your startup is are. And who's those who are looking for how to register your company, how to do your business model, or where you can get mentor support. So for basics of the entrepreneurship programs, we have launched the applications for the pre-incubation program, where you can get to know many things about the startups, how you can register your company, intellectual property rights, and so many things. It's an online program we are conducting every year, in twice in a year. So that applications are open. Their link also we have put in the chat box, or you can visit our website to register this program. Apart from that, we have open applications for the Manage Agri Award, So this is the third year for the awards, and that applications are deadline 30th of this December. So do apply for that award also. So where your startups get recognized from the manage and the Ministry of Agriculture's the delegates. Yeah, these are the few announcements, and don't forget to give us your feedback of the today's webinar. And if you have any suggestions to organize such a wonderful webinars in the future, you want to organize or you want to see on the different topics, please do write us and suggestions also. We are most welcome to you. And thank you for your questions and actively participating in this webinar. One more thing you have realized, those who are regular attendees, we invite usually two speakers for each webinar. Unfortunately, due to some medical cause, the second speaker cancelled. And I must appreciate Vamsi to conduct this webinar in very structured manner for 1 hour. I am mostly big-hearted thankful to you from entire managed team to be there, and you're giving the insights on this webinar. Thank you so much, all. We'll see you in the next webinar in the Saturday upcoming webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, managed team. The session was really helpful. I hope I've created some kind of awareness about the bank ecosystem for startups. Right?
Yes.
Please do reach out, guys. We are there as a dedicated vertical for startups. Right? Please don't hesitate to reach me out. I have received multiple emails already from you. Please keep emailing and keep WhatsApping me. Right? I'll help you out.
Yeah. Thank you, Vamsi sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you, guys.